Bob is an attorney. He is busy, successful, and leads a fulfilling family life. Medical orgone therapy has helped him deal with generalized anxiety.
Stand not talking and breathe and stay with it, and you'll feel more instead of talking.
I wasn't anxious about any particular thing. I was just anxious, physically anxious. The mail would come and I would be scared about what was in it. The phone would ring and I'd be scared to answer it. I just was in a constant state of distress. I could still function through it. I just couldn't tolerate it any longer.
Okay. Let it come out. Right on out. It's the repressed anger that's in him. These feelings and emotions are actually physically held within the body, in the armor.
I knew that I had had a very difficult childhood, and I knew that beneath the anxiety that I was suffering was tremendous anger. I was physically and emotionally abused by both of my parents when I was young. My household was very, very cold. I was not told once by my parents that they loved me.
He was not a bad kid. He was a regular kid. He made some mistakes as a child, broke something or lost something, but he lived in terrible fear that he would be caught and reprimanded and beaten.
You peel off the first layer and you have an understanding of what the under layers are about, but as you peel each of them off, you experience it more deeply and the memories become more intense, and so the whole experience of therapy leaves with you what you lived through. When I'm in therapy now, I actually re-experience emotionally the experiences I had then that caused my anxiety, and it was the way my parents treated me. It's really very simple. The most horrible thing I experienced in therapy in terms of memories was my mother coming in to my crib at night when I was very small and looking down at me with a very mean and hateful, angry look, when really what I needed from her was her love and her comfort. And I remember even her putting a pillow over me, over my mouth, to keep the noise down, you know, to keep the crying down.
There's a certain spot where I look and I see her face, and it's very angry and mean, and she's screaming at me, and she's real close right down in my face. And then I see that, and the crying happens first, then the fear always happens next, and then the rage after that. From my experiences here, it's just so clear to me why I have the feelings that I have, but knowing where they came from doesn't help. It relieves this sense of searching and mystery, but it doesn't help with the feelings to know it. I have to get the feelings out here on the couch in order to feel better.
He feels that he is much more able to relate with people and function better in his work. He's gotten married, he has 2 lovely children, and his enjoyment in life is much, much more than it ever was.
The pressure from all of the rage and the fear has been draining out of me. I've become capable of feeling my feelings. Without this therapy, I would have acted towards my children in very similar ways that my parents would have. I wouldn't have known any different. I would have looked at them as little soldiers like I was looked at. And I think that made a tremendous difference in them. You know, they're very open, good, wonderful, loving kids that are a pure joy for me. It's the most wonderful thing. It's why I'm alive. It's for them and for my wife. And, you know, I can't get too serious about anything else that goes on.